Hello, stream. I'm back again. As D-Lime said, I will be running European Extreme Tuxedo, and I'm joined by legendary European Extreme World Record holder Major Zero and a longtime legend and shepherd of new MGS3 players, Mini Omega King. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
So just to start out, I have to load a New Game Plus save, essentially. So I'm on the 007 slot here, which is appropriate. And this is the save I have set up for this run. And I will start in 3, 2, 1, go. So I'm playing on the Japanese version of the game. The reason I play on the Japanese version is because of the arms race, as we call it, in Metal Gear Solid 3. Where we essentially have to get the best hardware and the best version of the game in order to load the game the fastest. I'm using the Japanese version because it comes unpatched, so it's the unpatched digital version of the game, which gives faster loads than patched, but it is also 7 seconds slower at the credits than the American version. So it's the best I can get. Just starting out here, we won't be able to put our tuxedo on until we retrieve it from the top of this tree, and then hopefully my co-commentators will remind me when to put it on and stuff, because I sometimes forget.
Don't worry, we'll be here.
So European Extreme is obviously game over if discovered in Metal Gear Solid 3, so if any guard sees me at any point, I will have to restart the room. So it's extremely costly. Aside from that, the Tuxedo makes the run difficult in multiple ways. To begin with, it's not very good camouflage, so it's easier to get spotted. You can't use CQC while in the Tuxedo, and that's not a rule we set. It literally won't let you. So some rooms become a little bit harder because we can't quickly take out a guard if we need to. And also we can't use CQC against bosses, which makes them slightly longer. And the other thing is, because we're wearing the tuxedo, we can't abuse the animals camo like we do in a normal run. The animals camo prevents your aim from swaying when you're below 50% stamina. And so I'll have to manage my stamina a lot more than compared to a normal run. I think I covered them all, right? That's all the reasons Tuxedo's harder.
I think that's everything. Yep. Yeah. Did you cover Oz Cam and Bike Chase?
Oh yeah, of course. During the Bike Chase section at the end of the game, we'll receive a lot of incoming damage during the auto scroller. Now, in a normal run, what a lot of runners do is equip the Os camo, or in New Game Plus, equip the sneaking suit, and that allows you to take less incoming damage. We don't have that. But I will pick up a couple of extra life meds during the run, just in case we take too much damage during that section. It is still a very difficult section during Tuxedo.
It's a difficult section no matter what. I cannot imagine doing it on Tuxedo.
We'll try our best to get through it.
Yeah, one of the reasons why Tuxedo at this point hasn't been done single segment very often is a lot of the things that Apache described previously. People have done Tuxedo runs in the past. Hikari has done one, but he did his segmented. So a lot of the old Tuxedo runs were segmented, but Apache and some others, I believe, Major, you helped with some Tux strats. If I'm not mistaken.
A little bit. I made some optimizations to the lab and something to the mountains, but the mountains one's a bit too tough, I think.
Yeah, he came up with this ridiculous strat. The other person who's been coming up with some great Tuxedo strats is Sparty, and it's worth mentioning as well Hikari, who did the original multi-segment that you can watch on YouTube. I use a lot of his strats that I found in there. So even though they're multi-segment, plenty of them were actually single segment viable. I'm just taking this room a little bit safer because it can get awkward. I'm trying to get up to this last guard before he turns around. If he turns around, I'll have to hold him up for safety and knock him out. But no, we just got there in time. Oh, I had some really awkward movement there. It's kind of nerve-wracking because you're always expecting to get caught by guards. You get this awful feeling whenever you do a slight bit of movement that's not correct, that you're just about to get seen and be forced to restart the room. So that was Virtuous Mission. The only room that's particularly difficult in it is that last room there. I do just want to mention briefly as well, I'm using a DS1 controller with an adapter, and because of probably all the the quick reloading I've done, my R2 button isn't sticking when I hold it down, which may cause me some problems in a room later. So if I'm trying to shoot someone while stood on my tiptoes and I immediately come off it, it's because my R2 button's broken. I'll set up the GoFundMe for a new DS1 soon, I'm sure.
So we're going to see that optimal cure menu.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm partial to the R2 spam and the X spam.
Kikijiro-chan's press every single cure item on every single wound.
Just hold the button, mash down an X.
One of the benefits of running the Japanese copy of the game is circle is to confirm. So when you're spamming cutscenes, you won't accidentally hit a save boss. Oh, one thing I did mention.
The Japanese version.
One thing I forgot that does make Tuxedo harder is the lab section of the game. We would normally use the scientist costume as a disguise, but we can't do that in Tuxedo. So I have to do that without the disguise on. So I shot that mushroom. I'm going to equip it. This isn't a snack. This will be used for this next room to distract some guards. This next room is genuinely the hardest room in the game. Actually, not this next room, the room after, but the next room with guards is genuinely the hardest room in the game. There's an exact spot you have to do your initial roll on. If you're too short, too far away, too left, too right, you will get seen by the guards and it's an instant game over. The estimate is the estimate for a reason. This room is just completely unforgiving because during the first cutscene, the boss takes your gun away from you. If we had a gun here, it would be slightly easier, but instead we've got a mushroom and we're going to have to do our best. So first roll was okay. I can't explain enough how precise all this is. So I'm going to equip the stun grenade here and hold it so my footsteps are silenced.
Perfect. That was really good.
God, my hands are shaking, man. That's such a difficult room. I cannot describe to you how precise all of that room is.
That's a hard room in a normal run, and in Tuxedo it just becomes 10 times harder because you have to make all of the same precise movements, and there's more added on top of it.
So this is much similar to the normal strategy, except you have to roll down the bridge. Every time you roll, it reduces your camo index by 10, which is just enough to not get seen by those guards. Normally, when you're in Tiger Stripe, you don't have to do that at all. You can just run down the bridge, but it's just a little bit changed in Tuxedo. That's another room. It's looks quite easy, but I assure you it's not. It's such a precise game, Metal Gear Solid 3. Every single step you take, every bit of movement you make, the guards are watching you.
Were you quoting a song by chance?
No, definitely not.
Even Limes recognized it. You can't lie to me, Apache. When Limes recognizes that you were quoting a song and you're lying about it, you know you messed up.
That must be like one of 3 songs that Limes actually knows. Okay, the first boss of the run is the Ocelot Unit. It's probably the hardest or second hardest boss in the game, depending on who you ask. So I'm just gonna shut the hell up for this one.
So Ocelot Unit, he needs to take off the knife and put on the Mark 22, and he's going to take a shot on the guard to the southeast through the window. He specifically wants to not get a headshot on this guard, and the reason for that is because if he takes him out now, the guard on the roof will hear him, and he'll basically go into a bad position and give Apache an alert right away. And that headshot he just did on that far away guard is trickier than it looks. He does need to get a headshot there, or at least make sure that he goes down quickly. And that stun grenade takes out 4 guards at once if you place it well enough, like he did, which allows him to make the guard on the roof run towards him, giving him an easy headshot just like that. But he stood in a specific place so that he wouldn't get an alert. And this last guard, he's going to do an auto-aim. Oh, no, he's not. He's going to lean around the corner. All right, cool.
I can't go out there. If I go out, like the normal European strat, you just run at that guard and headshot him. But in Tuxedo, your camo index is too low.
Yeah,
that guard will immediately see you.
Because one of the interesting things about MGS3 that makes a lot of strategies that you'll be seeing in this run possible is that when you lean to the right or left, Snake doesn't actually move. It's just the camera that moves. So you can lean past a corner and a guard won't see you until they literally round the corner and get right in front of you. So that's why stuff like that works to begin with.
So Ocelot Unit it's almost the same as normal European Extreme, except you have slightly less time on every single action. Like we kind of plan the room out. We have like this much time to do this, and we have this much time to do this, and it's almost the same except Tuxedo, except you have like a second less each time. And then obviously that last guard that we shoot by, abusing that kind of like stealth around the corner mechanic. If you lean around a corner and change the camera, you can actually see that Snake is fully invisible. If the run's going okay later, we'll have a look at that. We'll see if there's time. We try and always menu during a roll to keep our momentum. The game will let you menu while rolling, but for some reason it won't let you pause the game. We think it's probably because you can abuse glitches if we could manage to pause the game while doing actions.
Yeah, actually, you can pause the game in the trial version of MGS3 while you're rolling, and it does cause problems. It can like extend your roll pretty much infinitely, so you can roll for like forever. It's weird.
Oh my God, I can't lean for normally I'd lean for that dog, but my lean's kind of broken on my right, my R2 basically. It's not obvious how much of a problem it is, but it really does affect you because you use like the lean mechanic and the tiptoe mechanic all the time in this run. But yeah, just get a better controller forehead.
R2 is a very important button in MGS3.
Oh, damn it. Okay. When you get up to that fence, this room changes based on how long it took you to get those first two dogs, and you have to like walk up and then see what the guards are doing before you move. And again, I need to lean. I took that one a bit more careful. It's just so easy to get caught in the Tuxedo in that huge wide open room, and you're kind of using the sound effects and what you can hear the guards doing to decide whether you can move forward or not. It's extremely unforgiving room, and it's also a really long room as well. And the further you progress into a room, if you get caught, it sends you back to the start. You're wasting even more time. I'm going to shoot a couple of barrels here. These don't count as kills.
He didn't kill them, the barrels did.
Yeah. You only have a small amount of time after you've shot those barrels to get into this next room, because this is the direction the backup guards come from.
A lot of precision in this run. Speaking of precision, well, not really. It's Ocelot. I'm gonna be doing mostly a standard loop here, shooting him, trying to keep him in place so that he doesn't get too far away. He's very easy to distract.
How unlucky can you get with those auto-aim shots, damn.
Wow. Super unlucky. Oh, but you still didn't get the cutscene.
Yeah, you didn't get the cutscene. So, in a normal run, after beating Ocelot, we would get the Animals camo, which is probably the best camouflage in the game.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, it is.
It's up
Yeah,
there.
categorically, yeah, it is.
Yeah. You, like mentioned before, you don't actually have to worry about your stamina when you have the Animals camo on. It will always make your aim steady. And in the European Extreme, going out of your way for extra food to refill your stamina is very, very slow. But we don't have that in this run, so we do need to have a snack every now and then.
Yeah, and we're gonna pick up. Oh, I gotta get both packs of ammo because I use so much on this Tuxedo route. We will be eating during the route. Who knows what we'll be eating? Maybe some fruit, maybe something else. I'm not sure yet.
Got a lot of options for snacks out here in the jungle.
I'm rooting for the something else option.
Yeah, it could be good. Something else could be
Something
good.
else.
So yeah, this next boss is the pain. strangely, in the Japanese version, you get this weird glitch with the smoke grenade at the start, where you throw the smoke grenade down and the swarm can still like exist. Normally, we use a smoke grenade to prevent one of the Pain's attacks, but in Japanese unpatched, sometimes it just doesn't work, and hopefully that doesn't happen today.
Yep. So like he was saying, he's going to throw a smoke grenade at the Pain here, which is hopefully going to stop those bees from attacking him and swarming up on him. And it looks like they did. Awesome. So now he's going to unload 4 headshots on him and then throw a grenade because he's going to put his bullet bee shield up. And that grenade should take it out and put the Pain into a really good animation that makes it easy to get headshots on him. And 4 more headshots should end phase 1. Nice phase 1. Really good.
Yeah, very nice.
So going into phase 2, he's going to be in the bullet bee shield right away. So he's going to immediately throw another grenade at him. And it's going to do basically the same thing as it did in phase 1. Take down the shield, put him in a really good position, and if he's really precise with his shots here and quick, he can get the Pain down in phase 2 in 1 cycle. Unfortunately, it looks like he rolled away on him, which is a bit of RNG. But 1 more grenade and he should be able to finish the fight.
You never want any of that to all of that happened there. You just don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
As soon as you miss a shot on the Pain, like you know that he's about to move, because whenever you hit him in the head, like it looked like all those shots were hitting him fine, but I missed his very precise hitbox. Once you miss that shot, you hear it go through him and hit the wall behind him, and you know he's about to roll. Once he rolls, you have to throw a grenade to get his next shield off him, but after you've thrown the grenade, he can roll again, and the game gets a very low frame rate during the Pain fight, so you can just watch him lagging out, and you're wondering if that grenade is going to take his shield off, because if it doesn't, you're in like huge trouble. And obviously I had that swarm on me as well, which does a great deal of damage, and there's no kind of feasible way to get it off you. So we very nearly died there. I mean, the health looks okay, but I assure you we very, very nearly died there. But yeah, I'm happy so far.
Yeah, no, that was still pretty good Pain. Definitely no complaints. Well handled, I'd say, even if he didn't give you the best pattern. Something weird about the Pain, someone mentioned it in chat. Yeah, his head hitbox is a little bit weird. It's actually not his full head. It's pretty much from the bottom of his nose to the bottom of his chin, where his head hitbox actually is. So you have to aim there in order to get a headshot on him.
Yeah, if you aim for the forehead, it will just go right through him. So don't aim there.
So he's swimming through the river here. You actually can get spotted by these searchlights quite easily. So he's taking a specific line to the right of them to go ahead and avoid them, so that hopefully they shouldn't see him.
Whenever you've got a sly bit of health left, like I do now, I can kind of like use a bit even when I run out of oxygen to try and get to the end of here, so I don't have to come out of the water and then go back in. But we don't really need our health. I know that probably doesn't make much sense, but we don't really need our health at this section of the game, because it's only bosses who can deal damage to you. If you get seen by a guard, you're not going to get into a firefight. They're just going to give you a continue, and you have to restart the room. So
yeah, and there's going to be a fair few minutes stretch until we have another boss, so he doesn't really have to worry so much about taking damage for a little while. But what he just did is he shot that barrel on the pier, and that's actually very, very important. That actually, you'll notice, damaged the End's health bar a little bit, and that is critical for the fight later on. If he doesn't shoot that barrel and cause damage to the End, the strat that he's going to do for the End's fight will not work. So you'll see more about that when it comes up in about 10 minutes-ish. 5 minutes.
Something
even.
like that.
Not even 10.
This room's a meme. Warehouse 1, we're going to abuse the AI, hopefully. Every time we roll into a guard, it makes the guard on the floor above look the other way. Not good. Okay, we're fine.
Wow, really nice.
A lot of this.
Very good, very good.
That room is a lot tighter than it might look. You have to roll into each of those guards, and if you miss even one of those rolls, the whole room is most likely gone, and you're going to take and continue most likely. He did a really good job there. Excuse me. You'll notice that at the end of the room, he actually rolled into those barrels a little bit and equipped the box for safety. That's because that last guard that he rolled into had a chance of seeing him because of that roll. Ideally, you want to roll a bit more west than that, but that box, really good awareness, let him get out of that room pretty easily without taking an alert.
You have to be really fast with those shots, probably slightly faster than I was there. There's a guard really far in the east that begins to walk west, and he can spot you from miles away. Like, our camo index is like -35 when we're running around, so it's gotta be quick with this room. Coming up is the lab. It's one of the hardest sections in Tuxedo. It's very, very prone to continues. Just because we're not using a disguise in the lab, we're just using the Tuxedo. So any guard seeing us in those confined spaces will cause an alert. But hopefully we should be fine. It's all based on like timing. Oh, I'm too far left here. No, we're okay. It's all based on like timing. I use a lot of punch buffers to kind of navigate around the lab. One trick we haven't mentioned is you can trank a guard and then roll it into him, and it will immediately knock him out. I'm going to use that corner strat again to headshot that guard. Do a little punch buffer here, and this roll is really, really precise. We've got to be right against the wall. I don't know. Yeah, got it. So as soon as I touch that window, I know I can roll towards the load zone without getting seen. Now I'm going to do another trank roll, but it's kind of awkward, this one. If you're too tight to the wall, it doesn't actually work. I'm going to do another punch buffer here. And I want to open this door as carefully as possible. And go into first person view. Headshot this guard. If I shot the wall, which I almost nearly did, that would have been an instant continue. And now I shoot that wall. Make that guard turn around, face the radio. Okay, that's the easy bit of lab over. This is the hard bit.
Yeah, all that was easy. Very easy.
Yeah, I think this is probably the second hardest room in the game. It's not quite the start of Snake Eater, but it's also very difficult. I'm gonna use a box to open the door, shoot this guard. Ah, crap, I missed him. Alright, this is gonna be problems. 2, 3, 4. I think I might be too soon. Feels good. I can't lie. I can't lie. That feels good.
Nailed that box.
Very nice.
The box headshot is essentially when a guard looks at a box, he puts his head down, and as you come out of the box, you're at the same height as him, so you can instantly headshot the guard. It's very precise. You have to be at the right distance away from the guard to make it work. Very easy to mess up. I'm extremely low on Mark 22 bullets, probably the lowest I've ever been at this point. I feel like I need more than I have, but we'll try and work it out. I'm just counting them down in my head. I think I've got exactly enough if I don't miss a single shot.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah.
So I'll have to make a couple of changes. There's a part later where I'll shoot a wall, and I'll have to use a lethal round to shoot the wall. I'm thinking even if I pick up ammo off the guard, I still don't have enough. Oh well, I'm sure we'll work it out as we go along.
Ammo.
It'll just add to the excitement.
So because you have to be on New Game Plus to get the Tuxedo anyway, he's actually going to do a little bit of a different strat here on the Pain. Normally we would use that rope trap to kill him, but what he's going to do instead is fake death kill immediately and throw a stun grenade, which makes all of the damage that the Pain takes turn into stamina damage, and it removes all of his iframes, so that it means you can kill him really, really fast with, I don't know, say, an infinite ammo machine gun, perhaps? Which just so happens to be a New Game Plus item. So that's what he's going to do. Don't blink. There it is.
We've talked about some of the more difficult boss fights in the run. I assure you that one's the easiest.
Particularly on New Game Plus.
The fear is very easy on New Game Plus because the Patriot is very powerful for taking him out. And for those who are curious, the Patriot does not count as a special item. You can use it and still get Foxhound.
So here he's going to do another box headshot. He did a very specific roll to land on top of that guard, and then a crazy box headshot in the Snake Eater camera, which is so daring in the Snake Eater camera.
Yeah.
He makes it look easy, but I assure you, it is not.
That is very difficult, that shot right there. You'll see a lot of players go back to the 3D cam to set that one up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's much safer.
It's tough, and at times like you can feel like you've got to grips with it, and then all of a sudden you can't hit it at all, and then you can't miss it, and it is genuinely a tough room, but it gets easier with practice. When I first started learning that room, I just sat in a Discord with Major and did it like 50 times in a row, and he kept telling me what I was doing wrong, and it was good way to learn.
And in that session, he actually had one of the fastest Warehouse 2s I've ever seen. So here's another example of using the grenade trick to silence your footsteps. Which actually, it's particularly useful there because that's a very loud floor. That guard can hear you from very far away if you don't do something about your footsteps or handling him in some way.
I'm going to sneak a bit of ammo off this guard here. So we have 9. We're still struggling a little bit for ammo because we're going to fight the end now, and we need 3 headshots on the end at the start here, and then we're going to do a setup to allow him to be teleported into this first room here. So it's a relatively new strat. It was found a couple of months ago.
Yep, so like he said, he's going to open up with 3, hopefully headshots on the end. We've got 1, 2, and 3. Nice. That's really high damage. That's good. That's going to pay off dividends later on in a fight. So now he's going to run to a specific position and do a punch buffer. He's going to do 6 punch kick combos, and the goal here is to basically kill 25 seconds of time. And 6 punch kick combos is basically just what we need to do that. And after that, he's going to throw a smoke grenade in between the line of sight between him and where he knows the end is going to be, and then bait the end into teleporting by using his unsilenced gunshots. So now the end is to a southwesterly position. He's teleported there, and Apache's going to go ahead and do a little bit of a stun lock on him. So he's going to...
Oh, this might not work. Nope. Let's just try and back it up.
Okay, so he's going to fall back to the go-go time loop. So he's going to basically kite the end back and forth between these trees. Ooh.
No, I don't have enough ammo. I'm going to have to reset the room.
Very unfortunate.
He did basically, every single movement you make, like the punch, spray punch has to be really well timed. If you fail any of it, the end will break. Basically, there's just no room for error. There's absolutely no room for error in this fight.
Absolutely not. It's such a hard fight and so tight. It actually took us weeks to figure out how to even get it consistently. And when we finally figured out, it was a huge eureka moment. We were all popping off. So the strategy is the same. Of course, he's going to open up with 3 shots and then do that same 6 PPK buffer. So a little bit about how the end's mechanics work. He can teleport to the farthest position away from Snake that he can still see Snake from, and he can do that every 25 seconds. So that's specifically why we wait 25 seconds to do this strat here. If we did it any sooner, he just wouldn't teleport. And it's actually quite precisely timed with that PPK buffer. If you're even a little bit too fast on throwing your shooting your gun, he just won't teleport on you. So
I always do an extra one and then cancel it,
yeah,
just to make sure, because there's nothing worse than getting over there and him not spawning in. Damn it, it's not going to work.
Oh man, he is just not having it today.
He's just getting a slight break from me between the... Oh god, that didn't even work. I need to go north of him so he runs south. That's the best chance I have of picking him up.
Okay, so you'll notice he was standing to the north of the end there. That's done specifically to bait the end into running south instead of north. Because if he runs north, he's pretty much going to run out of the room and the fight's over at that point. You really can't recover it. But if you run south, you have a chance. So now he should run northwest again on him, hopefully, if he does what we expect him to, and he is perfect. So if he can keep this going, he can bait him between these two sets of trees. Very nicely timed. Good.
Oh, I keep thinking I've seen him. He's like stealthy, man.
Yeah,
He's
he is
over
wearing a
here.
ghillie suit.
He's over here. He's gonna turn and shoot me immediately, so I'm gonna have to like. I'll take it, man. I'll take it. I absolutely hate it when that fight goes south. So we do lose a bit. I knew he was gonna shoot me. There was a slightly safer way to approach him, but I really didn't want to mess up my grenades for later. That fight shouldn't look like that, but just made some mistakes in between punching and menuing, and I was like 2 steps too far away from him to begin the loop, so I had to do a bit of a backup. But we are out of there.
Yeah, and still, that was a pretty good save in my opinion. It was entertaining nonetheless. It's always funny to see the end just get blasted away by a cigarette-shaped gun. Great, I love it.
So unfortunately, we lost the old Foxhound rank, but losing it at the end, it's not uncommon. Certainly not uncommon, and it feels better than losing it at the actual end of the game, which I've also done. I'm sure we've all done that as well. There really isn't a better way to get around it. Like once you there's no point chasing him. Once he leaves a load zone, you don't chase him ever. Like you can ruin your whole run doing that.
You are never going to have a good time if you chase the end out of the room that he starts in. We used to do a crazy long strat where we would like dodge the end's shot at the beginning of the fight and like run around 2 other rooms to get to him, and then we would do like a really slow loop on him and chase him into another room and finish the fight there if the fight went a little bit south. But that loop is I'm so glad it's gone because it was so slow. This one, the loop we have now, done well, saves about 45 seconds on what we used to do. So it's a huge time save.
Yeah, it's very fast. Very fast new technique.
I'm trying to remember the frequency off the top of my head for Euro. I think it's 104078. So yeah, something me and Minnie noticed when we were watching, like I think me and Major were watching it, me and Minnie were watching it. We were watching like an old run of this game, and it was like a all 0 stats run. And what they did was to prevent themselves from using any food items, they actually called a specific codec in order to get stamina back. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, these are not working.
I'm trying to look up the frequency, but I can't find it.
No, I've got them. It's just like
no.
this site might be wrong. Yeah, maybe it's different in this thing. But fortunately, I've got a food item which will cover me for a little bit of time. So, fun fact, Major, if you could find me one, by the way. Fun fact: we were going to have a little mess around, and we were going to capture the bunny rabbit after Warehouse 2, and eat the bunny to gain stamina back. But because my Mark 22 ammo was so low, I couldn't actually expend that 1 bullet in order to do that. So that's going to make this room really fun. This room's a nightmare. You have very, very little time to do all of this. And I already think I'm too slow. So you have to shoot these 2 guards and then leg it all the way to this guard at the end, who is going to move to the left here and then turn around. The other thing that can happen is as you approach him, because I'm going to auto-aim shot and roll into him, the auto-aim can sometimes just tick off him. But no, it seems to have turned out sort of okay. Okay, my stamina's going. I'm gonna have to come up with a codec pretty quickly.
I'm trying for you, buddy.
I think they're all different per difficulty. So all
They
the
are.
GameSpot forums from back in the day and things like that, they're all like numbers, but they're all for random difficulties. So it's
I have one for hard. Would you like to try it?
no, I don't think they work. I've just tried one. I normally use one in my run as well, and the number that I use is just like escaped my memory. So yeah, they're the healing radio codecs. We got one.
146.45.
Let's enjoy this one. That is a beautiful sound to my ears.
Oh, that's the one you just used. Awesome.
So yeah, they're all different on different difficulties, which makes it a fun time. I may have to reset this room, right? When you walk into this room, you shoot that guard with in fact, no. You know what? I'm just gonna restart this. When you walk into the room, you shoot the guard, and in the normal European Extreme run, it immediately headshots him. But because you're in the Tuxedo, he begins to walk towards you. Japanese menus, I can't get out. So now I have to like hope that hit him, and I also have to crouch as well, which will drop my camo index just low enough so he doesn't see me as he's walking towards me. Alright, Mountains 2 is ridiculously hard. I'm basically on a timer the whole time. I have to get all the way up to the top of the mountain before a guard pattern gets into a certain position. And as you can see, it's probably the longest room in the whole game, just because of how windy the actual mountain is.
It's right about now in these sections that the animals camo would really come in clutch, because you have about a 90% camo index at pretty much all times. But in the Tuxedo, you're at like 0 at best.
Yeah, you're very low.
That's you see the R2 immediately fails me as soon as I try and pull the trigger. Right, we should be okay. We should be okay. Oh my god, this guard's here too.
Oh my god.
As if it didn't hit him. Hopefully he's reset that radio call. Yeah, he seems to have just.
Wow, so lucky.
I mean, completely planned use of backup.
Yeah, definitely. No luck involved.
He wasn't actually
the
radioing
caution
when you
didn't
shot
end. The caution didn't end, no.
Oh. So when you shot the barrel, he didn't. It didn't reset his radio transmission. He actually started because he was just investigating the body when you shot it. He was about to wake him up.
So rooms with a caution work differently.
Yep, guards. Guards who would normally be somewhere in the middle of the room will start in completely different positions, and they'll already be on sort of high alert, so to speak. They'll notice your footsteps right away, and they won't really you won't really have any time to play with them at all.
This is what I get for making plans to eat a rabbit. So one of the things I think we all love about this game is how much room it leaves for kind of like expression within every single room in the game and how you do your run. I feel like pretty much everyone runs this game differently from one another, and it's times when you make mistakes in a route, like you can have a plan of what to do if everything goes perfect, but as soon as things start going like haywire, being able to just make backups on the fly is something I really, really love about this game.
Yeah, the creativity that you are, like, the way that you can express yourself and the amount of options you have in MGS3 is truly incredible. There's lots of cool stuff you can do.
Absolutely, and not just through level design, although that is a big contributor, but also through the sheer amount of equipment and mechanics there are at your disposal. There's just so many things you can do, like those crazy sig spray strats that he did on the end, for example.
Yeah, I didn't mention, but I don't know if we mentioned. I don't remember, but it was a runner called Go Time who came up with that entire strat. It was kind of made faster by Major Zero, but the initial way of dragging him into the room was come up with by another runner.
And we are so thankful for that. But coming up now is the Fury, the famous Fury. I'm not sure if I should say anything now or after.
I can't remember if I equipped my Mosin Nagant. I really hope I did. No, I didn't. So this should be fun. You should always equip your weapon before you go into the fight, because if you happen to have any problems, you're going to have to do that menu every time.
And the Fury has been known to cause a problem or two. So the ideal loop for the Fury is he's going to bait him into shooting, and then while the Fury is trying to jump away, he's going to shoot him 3 times, and then repeat that cycle, basically 3 times. So he's done that twice now, and he's... Ooh. Oh! Unlucky.
Just Fury things. Just Fury things. So when I shot him... Sorry, I needed a moment there. When I did the 3rd shot on him, it just went straight through him. It's just the Fury lifestyle that we all have. Yep. Hardest boss in the game. I'll take that to the bank all day.
Hey, getting through the Fury without a continue is great. That's
yeah.
You'll take that.
So we came close.
I didn't want to jinx him into having a questionable Fury, so I chose to abstain on comment. So the Fury is a notoriously challenging boss. He's very random, very unpredictable, and even if he does do what you want him to, it's still a very hard fight to execute. So the Fury has multiple spawning points, and you want him to spawn in a specific place, and you want to bait him into shooting at you, and then you'll hide from his fire, come out, shoot him 3 times, and repeat that cycle 3 times. All of those things are hard, every single one of them. So I'm really glad that he pulled that off the way he did.
Yeah.
The Fury can just hold people hostage for absolute minutes and not even feel bad about it. So Grozzy has some really observant guards. Only the best for Volgan.
It's the last really challenging run of the run, the room of the run. I can't even speak. It's been one of those runs, guys. It's a rough one. This whole room is very difficult.
Yes, it is. So he's going to throw a smoke grenade towards the stairs, which shields him from the prying eyes of the guy to his east, who he's now going to shoot for his inconvenience. And that's going to make Rykov run into the room, basically into the locker room on him. Ooh, very unfortunate.
Rykov has a big, massive head that you have to box headshot, basically, but the box headshot, it's just not going to be perfect every time, basically.
And there really is no other way to capture Rykov on Tuxedo using this strat, or really at all even, because you can't CQC at all. The normal strat would involve just CQCing him and dragging him where he needs to be, but he has to do a box headshot effect. And box headshots are kind of famously difficult.
Normally you can just go all the way up to him, bump into him, and grab him with CQC. Obviously we don't have that luxury. I've not thrown my grenade far enough this time. I'm doing that thing where you mess something up, so you try and do it faster the second time. I should just slow it down. That's not going to work now. Yeah, and if your smoke grenade's not far enough, you're not covered completely. So yeah, this room is it's so challenging because of the Tuxedo, but I'm sure we'll get through it.
I'm sure we will.
I can't hit him in the head. Like you have to be on a direct line, and you have to move exactly towards him. If you mess your movement up at all, if you move like left or right too much, it doesn't work. But hey, that's what the estimate is for. That's why the estimate is what it is, essentially, because some of these rooms can just hold you hostage like this.
Absolutely. It's also critical that he actually hits that guard to the east down the hallway. If he hits the wall or misses the guard in any way, it's not going to make Rykov run into this room. He's just going to run into the eastern room and call in a caution, basically, and he's not really going to be in a convenient position. So he got the box headshot, so he's just going to drag him into the locker room now, and we're going to steal his face, basically, or his clothes, so we can put his face on and pretend to be him for a little while.
Yeah, if you're thinking of picking up this category, it is super fun to play. That's a room that you've really got to get to grips with quickly. It's not just getting up to Rykov and doing the box headshot, like that's just one small part of it, but all your movement on the way there, position of where the grenade goes, the timing of the shot on the guard to cause the caution, everything matters to put Rykov in a position where he can be box headshot in the first place. And a couple of times there I got to him and I kind of knew he wasn't in the position anyway. It's just really, really precise, and it is part of what makes this category so fun, at least to me, is it takes a game which I consider to be very difficult anyway, MGS3 European Extreme, and just adds an additional layer of difficulty on top of it as well. So I love this run a lot, but it's not without its challenges.
Definitely.
Yo, I can't believe Yay Marsh is in the chat. What a legend. Let's go, Molotov. Inspirational. Absolutely inspirational.
Why is Molotov not a VIP? Limes, get on this.
I vote Molotov VIP.
Seriously. Molotov should absolutely be a VIP. We love your run, dude.
It wasn't that long ago that we were all just sat in Discord watching it. Like, talk about like how despite a lot of the strats moving on, it's still one of the best and most expressive runs of this game. Love it so much.
Yeah, it's without a doubt one of the best MGS3 runs ever performed. Like, easily, hands down.
It's also one of the only, if not the only, Foxhound in a marathon ever. Is that right, Apache?
I can't find another one. I literally can't find another one.
I think it's the only Foxhound done in marathon.
The best I could do is no alerts, no continues, but I did have kills, so I don't know. One day I'll go to GDQ and I'll get the newest Foxhound run there. True that, Sparty. Rykov stole your Foxhound yesterday. That was a great run. How's it going anyway, chat? My entire body's on like high alert. I hate it when you get stuck on a room in this game. It just steals your weapon.
It can be very frustrating. And you're constantly resetting the same room because you keep making a mistake.
It's the worst one is you hit continue and then you just rush into the room and you're like, yeah, I've already messed this up, and you're like 2 seconds into a room.
It's when you mess it up and you go, I was just doing everything too slow, and then you rush it and then it goes wrong even faster and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
I'll slow it down now, and then you slow it down. And this still goes wrong.
It's a vicious cycle of, oh, that was too slow. I guess I'll go fast.
It really is.
Oh, that was too fast.
Yeah. I guess I gotta go slower.
So moving on from torture, we have to escape the cell. We no longer have the Tuxedo, so this is exactly the same as the normal European extreme route. Some of these rooms are pretty hard, particularly the last one before the sewers.
Definitely, a lot of these rooms are really, really hard.
I forgot to count, so I'm just going to make sure he spins to.
So what he did is he kicked a rat to death, and he's going to use that a little bit later on. You'll see. But he's spinning Snake around now, so that way he'll vomit, which is going to get Johnny's attention. So that way he'll open up the cell door. And as soon as he does, we're going to give Johnny the old left, right, good night. There it is, and we're going to steal some smoke grenades off of his corpse. So we're going to use both that rat and the smoke grenades in the forthcoming rooms. Immediately after going into this next room, he's going to throw the rat straight ahead, which is going to get the attention of a guard to the southeast and prevent him from seeing Snake while he runs through the room. Immediately after he throws the rat, he's going to do a frame-perfect trick here, where he is able to get to this crawl space on the west without getting seen by the guards, but only just. It is so precise.
Yeah,
And you get it
even like the amount of time you have the smoke grenade primed for, you need to release it early to get enough time to get to the vent in most cases. Um, yeah, it's a cruel little room, but not as cruel as this last one. I hate it so much. I hate this room so much. Um, what we do here is dumb. It's like it's such a dumb strat. Like we're gonna throw a smoke grenade in a specific place. We're just gonna go here, look up a little bit, and then we're gonna run down this wall. So this is between two guards. The smoke grenade gives us a little field of invisibility, and then we're gonna stand in that box, throw a smoke grenade at the dog, and hopefully not get caught. Yeah, we didn't get caught. That's good.
nice. That whole room is so hard. He makes it
Yeah.
look easy, but that
This is very
first grenade
difficult.
throw, it can be very, very precise. And it's sometimes hard to tell even when you got it because it'll look like they're in, but they're really not, and it'll look like they're out, but they're really
yeah.
in. And sometimes that guard on the left can just not play ball, and he'll just keep looking at you, and he'll see you when you exit. He can be really uncooperative.
That room has stolen so many of my Foxhound attempts. Like
I'm pretty sure everyone who's run Foxhound has lost a run to that room. For sure, like
Without a doubt.
it's really difficult. Someday, someone will figure it out.
Yeah, I think Major's setup that I used for throwing the smoke grenade's pretty good. You just run to the cone and look up slightly. It seems to work okay. Like I've been having some good luck with that. I did this run for a GDQ like show during the week, and I did it at ESA Marathon 20. I want to say at the start of this year. Was it January 2020? And in both of those runs, I didn't get a continue. I didn't take an alert to any guards, but the strat I used on both was just so ridiculous, and it's like what I thought worked, but it should have never worked. Like neither run, both of them should have been an alert. But you know, we're always learning. We're always picking up new stuff.
Absolutely. Speaking of learning, we recently learned that this upcoming boss fight does not count towards IGT.
Yeah.
The
We
Sorrow
had
boss
no
fight.
idea.
Yeah, we didn't know for years. For years, we were wondering why there was such a big discrepancy between RTA and in-game time, which is what we submit to the boards. It's about 30 seconds to close to a minute, depending on what you do during the fight. Well, it's because it doesn't count towards IGT. So, because it's a dream sequence, Kojima thought, hey, it would make sense if it just didn't count. But actually, what the game does is it counts which frame the cutscene that introduces the fight starts on. And then when the fight finishes, it resets the frame counter, the in-game frame counter, to that frame when the cutscene started. So effectively, the whole fight doesn't count towards IG.
Yeah, it's quite funny. It's a shame there's not a use for picking up the Sorrow's camo. Obviously, if you go all the way to the end of the river, you get the Sorrow camo, which silences your footsteps. It'd be cool if that had a use, because then we would have to do that on every run, because we can get it for no time lost, essentially.
Oh, absolutely. So Apache just opted out of doing a dumb strat that no one should ever do, called log roll. It is so
Everyone
risky.
should do it.
No one should do it. It's so
Everyone should do it.
no. I'm putting my foot down. No. It's such a minuscule time save for such a huge risk. You can save like 2 seconds if you do it perfectly, and if you mess it up, you lose upwards of 20-25 seconds. It's so bad because you'll fall straight off the log and you'll have to swim all the way back to basically the beginning of the room and do the whole walking thing again. And then if you go for it again, you can miss it as many times as you want, just go around in circles.
Yeah, even better than that, Appel came up with a roll that essentially skips the log section. You can roll up the left side of the map. It's extremely precise, but it saves about 4 or 5 seconds over walking around for this like most ridiculous, I guess, frame perfect trick. We need a better word to describe tricks. It's either hard or frame perfect. That's the only way to describe things.
We could call them extreme.
Yeah. It's a European extreme strat.
The European extreme strat.
As you may notice, I haven't put the tuxedo on, and that's because I'm going to go all the way to the end of the room and pick up this box first. For the tuxedo board, you have to wear the tuxedo in every room where there are guards. So essentially, like, this room doesn't count. I'm going to shut up and do my menu because
So he's going to do all of his menus here for pretty much the rest of the game. He's going to do one more later on to put on the RPG when the game gives it to him. But right now he's going to set himself up for basically the entire rest of the game. He equipped the cardboard box B, which is actually really essential. It saves a lot of time in the next room.
Yeah.
So in the next room, he's going to do something a little bit, well, I would say absolutely normal, perfectly normal, and nothing strange is going on at all. Right, Minnie?
Yeah, this is normal behavior.
Yeah.
This happens all the time.
If you saw a box, you would do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So what he's going to do is he's going to run in front of this guard and get his attention, which is going to make him run the wrong way, and then do something totally normal.
Yeah, trust us, it's normal. And if you look at the 3 people on this call, we know about normal, so
oh yeah,
we can assure you.
Exactly.
I'm glad that sure exists.
Oh yeah, because this room would be a nightmare if you couldn't do that.
It would be so hard.
Just trying to get around in my dinner coat, like trying to sneak around. I look like I've got lost on the way out of the party.
So what he did on the exit of that room is he got into the truck with the cardboard box B on, and this game actually has a fast travel system. Depending on which box you have equipped when you sit in the truck, they'll take you to a different area, and that one takes you right where we want to go. So at the beginning of this room, he actually shot the liquid fuel tank with his gun, but because he shot it with the Mark 22, which is a tranquilizer gun, it actually doesn't blow up the liquid fuel tanks. But the guards did notice it, so they saw that the tank just got shot with a gun, so they're like, I don't want to be anywhere near this thing, and they all run basically out of the room and conveniently out of your way, so they're nowhere to be seen. All that's left is the mechanics.
Yeah, they all very, very intelligently, they all book it.
I would, except no joke, I really would. I'd get out.
I'd get out.
But that makes a nice, clean path for you to get through the room. Really good.
Volgin is kind of rough. Volgin's the next boss. Kind of rough when you have CQC. Without CQC, it becomes a lot harder. And I really don't want to use a life med here. I would rather reset this boss than use a life med. So hopefully I can get this to work. Ah, damn it. Yeah, we're resetting. And by resetting, I mean Vulcan has killed me. I stood a little bit too close to him at the start, so I have to basically bait him into doing an action and then get behind him. So I need to run up to him, and when he does this punch, and now I need to shoot him 4 times. I'm too slow, man. I'm too slow. Being a nerd.
The timing for this is quite tight because he recovers from that like shotgun punch attack thing. He recovers really quickly from it, so he doesn't have a whole lot of time to play around with on getting these shots. But he got it, nice.
Now I need to go all the way south and hope he does the like laser whip thing. I don't know what attacks are called. Oh, I'm too slow again. I'm so dead here, by the way. As long as we don't mess up phase 2, we're out. Phase 2 is the same as the normal European Extreme route. I have 16 bullets, that's not good. Oh, crap. You know what I was saying about my R2 failing?
Oh, no, it is.
R2 living right there.
This is such a terrible fight for R2 to fail on because you have a very tight window to land some shots on Volgin in between his iframes, basically between attacks. There's a small window where he's putting down his shield so he can start a new attack, and if you hit him during that, you can stun lock him. But if your R2 doesn't work, you're kind of out of luck. Not much you can do about that.
Just not managing to get behind him. Right, go all the way south. I'm having a bad time.
Oh no.
Is it okay if I get a reset?
Right.
Is that okay, chat? Like, let me know. It's gonna start from the start. Take this from the top. I can't quick reload my controller, man. Alright, it's time
If you held R2 and like switched weapons.
I'm gonna have to choose him, man.
Oh, the good old Patriot.
Yeah, here we go.
Faithful.
This is the slowest gun that you can kill Volgin with.
You'll love to see it. Oh no!
Oh no!
I'm so sorry, people. I was like, I was going through all the rooms in my head. I was like, where is this R2 going to cause trouble? And I didn't even think about having to quick reload at Volgin. It didn't even register.
Yeah, the normal strategy for phase 1 is to get up to him,
Messed it up.
get right in front of him, and CQC slam him. But because we have the Tux on, we can't get any creases in it, so we're not allowed to CQC him.
Do you know the actual in-game description for why CQC doesn't work? It's so dumb.
No. Do I want to know it?
It's because Snake doesn't have his little toy knife. That is not a joke. If you call me, Major Zero, after torture and talk to him about it, he'll say, Snake, you can't CQC because you don't have your CQC knife.
How did he get out of this? How did he get out of that? I'm going to life med this. I'm getting out of this no matter what.
Oh no.
Oh my god, he got you so low.
Oh
Anyway, that's how you do Vulcan first try, first time.
yeah, perfect. Love seeing
First try.
If anyone has got an old DS1 I can borrow.
I have one, but unfortunately my R2 is also a little clicky. Very unfortunate.
Okay, I'm gonna take my revenge on every guard for the rest of the game now. Is that okay? Like,
You have my permission?
Yeah, don't worry about it. That's what James Bond would have wanted.
I have to like slam my hand down on the R2 just to make it like do the quick reload.
Yeah, and you're gonna need to do a lot of quick reloading later, so I hope you find a strategy.
Yeah, we should be okay at the boss because the Tuxedo strat works a little bit differently. You don't have to like quick reload to shoot her in the head, or it doesn't matter as much. Like,
Yeah, so in case anyone's curious, we are actually doing damage to the Shagohod that will carry over into the actual boss fight against it. So this was kind of a misconception for a while, in that each difficulty has a set like damage cap that the Shagohod can go down to. That's actually not the case. They all have the exact same damage cap. It's just on European Extreme. On higher difficulties, actually, it has a higher defense. So if you had like absolutely perfect rockets and got a ton of damage off, you could theoretically hit the damage cap on European Extreme, which is roughly around half of its total life bar. But good luck.
That's so hard.
That would be very difficult.
I'm not sure if there's any runs on the board right now that even have hit the damage cap. Do you guys know?
Yeah,
Top of your head?
no, I don't think there's any run that's gotten that close to the damage cap. I believe maybe a segmented run has possibly gotten the closest, but I have not seen the damage cap hit on European Extreme yet. If someone can do that, that would be you'd probably save a decent amount of time, even if your Shagohod fight didn't go perfectly.
Yeah, because on Euro, you don't do that much damage to the Shagohod with the RPG, so it would save a pretty good chunk of time.
Yeah, just having like half of the life bar gone.
Yeah. It'd also make the loop a lot easier.
Yeah.
So the guards that he's taking out now, he actually does have to take them out, or else the game won't progress. In about 10 seconds, when he rounds this corner, if he didn't take out those guards, excuse me, they would be running up to him now, and he would have to take them out in basically what is a second wave of attack. But because he took them all out on the first round, they just don't come, and Eva moves straight along. And that RPG guard that he just took out is highly lethal. He will shoot you, and he won't feel bad about it. There's one more guy like that.
Not miss.
He really doesn't. There's one more guy at the end of the room, right at the end of the room as you leave, who has an RPG. He's gonna
I
shoot
missed him.
right
I missed him twice.
You have not. You have not.
Oh no.
We're okay. We're okay.
Oh, jeez.
He's not the laggy one. Like the worst one is the laggy one during the second part of Bike Chase. Just like the run ender. He when he hits you, he drops your game to about 2 frames, and you lose like 20 seconds just sat at like the animation of your bike exploding.
Bad.
So in some ways, it is a shame that Foxhound was lost, but in other ways, it's good because that makes the bike chase a lot easier, which you don't have to worry about Foxhounds.
Yeah, it's one of the final like gatekeepers of getting Foxhound Tuxedo is you have to get all the way here with no continues, no alerts, no kills, anything like that. Then you have to do this bike chase with no life meds and no ability to reduce incoming damage. It's very difficult. It goes from like a 5 difficulty to like an 11. It's such a difference.
Yeah, and this section already is pretty tough in a normal European Extreme run. But the restrictions forced upon you by Tuxedo make it very, very tricky.
I mean, I know like a marathon Tuxedo run, things are always like bound to go wrong, but I honestly feel like the continues in this run were just weird. They're just so odd.
Not in the places you expected.
No, like especially with the whole business with not having enough ammo all of a sudden, and I was like, wait, I can't shoot the rabbit anymore. Wait, what's the codec number for the stamina?
Alright, so here's where the bulk of the damage to the Shagohod is going to be done. You want to avoid hitting the treads, because if you hit the treads, the Shagohod will stop moving and will fall back a bit. And when it falls back a bit, you can't actually do any damage to it until it starts moving again. And when it's really far away, the splash radius of your missile stays the same, but the hitbox sizes on the Shagohod does not. It actually gets smaller in accordance to how far away it is. So if you try and make long distance rocket shots, it will probably just stay really far away from you the whole time.
I'm so like inconsistent at this section. I feel like I'm 3rd in European Extreme, but like I'm so much worse than Major and Hikari at this section of the game. Like just the dealing damage to the Shagohod.
It's tough getting the fast shots off. It's very difficult.
Fortunately, we have the Shagohod loop, which kind of means that even if you don't have a great Shagohod, you can just keep him pinned down the whole time and deal all the damage you need in a very fast amount of time. So I kind of forego that bit and just hope for the best on the Shagohod loop.
So on to the Shagohod fight itself, and this is the loop, the coveted loop. So he's going to open up on the Shagohod with a very precisely timed shot, which is hopefully going to stop the Shagohod in its tracks and keep it from turning, and it has. Very nice. So what he's going to do now is repeatedly plant some RPG shots into the weak spot of the Shagohod, and then into the treads. And if he keeps that pattern going with some additional very precisely timed shots, he can actually keep the Shagohod stun locked for the entire duration of the fight. It is notoriously difficult to keep the Shagohod stun locked for the whole fight, but he is doing an absolutely phenomenal job.
Yeah, this is incredible.
And he's not even spamming RPG shots like a lot of people do. He's actually timing them out. This is incredible.
I can't quick reload like that.
Oh yeah, you can't!
I let her get slightly too far to the right, so or the left even.
Still, that was, what is that, one shot left?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was so good. That's so impressive.
Yeah. Wow.
And so, phase 2 of Shagohod is a lot simpler, but still not easy, and it can still get away from you. He's going to stop the Shagohod in its tracks again. with a shot to the treads, and he's going to swap between the RPG and the SVD to do damage on Volgan, then swap him back to the RPG to shoot the treads again to keep it from moving. And very good execution.
Very nice.
Very easy for the Shagohod to escape from you there and just start driving around. And it's weird the way that the Shagohod's iframes work, because if he gets even a little bit of a chance to move, he just becomes totally invincible for a long time and you can't stop it. Volgan's also very uncooperative. If he turns his head to face you, he actually gets a shield up, sort of like he did in his fight in the hangar, and you can't hit him. So very glad that he got out of that fight cleanly.
Yeah.
I feel like I got my own back against Volgan. I feel like we're even now, until next time.
He had you for a little bit. He had your number.
It's just a weird one. Like, Volgan's not really a fight that you kind of worry about in your run. It just kind of starts and you do it. So once it started going wrong, I was like, wait, I don't even know how this fight works. I just do the loop. Like, more experimentation needed with that one.
More Tuxedo science.
Yeah.
I'll get Sparty on it right away. Light the beacons for Sparty.
Our resident Tux appreciator.
Yeah. You just kind of want to kill these guards as fast as possible, and your aim is to get into the second room with as little damage as possible, because you are going to take, no matter what, a certain amount of damage. And then also you have the added RNG factor of I'm just going to concentrate and shoot this RPG guard.
Yeah, this is the RPG guard he was talking about a minute ago, the one who can drain your frame rate down to like 4.5 if he hits you. But he got him real early, thankfully, so we don't have to worry about either A, the damage, or B, the frame rate. So real good. It's also highly terrible because he'll shoot you and do loads of damage to you going into the most damaging room in the whole game. The hardest room for sure, in terms of actually fighting.
Yeah, this room's difficult.
It's not just the difficulty of the middle guard. The middle platform guard can park above you, right? So he's in a spot where he can't be hit. And then also, as you shoot the left and right guards to reduce the incoming damage, they can, as they're crashing, they can land next to you and catch on fire. This is especially difficult in Tuxedo because if you catch fire, which is like the highest DPS in the whole game, is being on fire, you can't actually change camo. A normal way to put fire out is to just change camo and change back to a different one. You're not allowed to do that in Tuxedo. So if you're on fire, you're going to just take the incoming damage. But it seems to have behaved relatively well.
Yeah, if you're going for Fox Sound here, you'd be using the Mark 22, which not the most accurate weapon out there.
I've seen some better guns in my time, that's for sure.
I wish we had the M63 for this part. I also wish the M63 was non-lethal.
Yeah, that's
That'd be very
non-lethal M63.
You ever wonder, Apache, why these guards have ammo for a tranquilizer gun they don't have? I ever wonder why they're holding on to that?
Yeah, it's kind of random. So this is the last room of the bike chase. Even if you make it here with 1 HP, you're generally okay. I mean, if you really concentrate, you can quite easily not take any damage in this room. But we're fine on health, we're fine on life meds.
Yeah, this is definitely the easiest part of the bike chase. As much as it seems like, oh, there's actually, some of the guards are getting kind of close, they come from weird angles and stuff, they're not that hard to deal with. They're pretty easy to get rid of.
We tend to try and spend as much time as possible looking at the floor because we know that keeping the frame rate as high as possible means that we'll get a lower IGT. So in like the very easy run, for example, we just look at the floor the entire time because the guards can't do enough incoming damage to you to actually kill you. It's a bit different on European Extreme. You do have to do quite a lot to prevent the damage.
Yeah, so European Extreme can't take the full advantage of reducing the frame rate to save time, but it can squeeze a couple seconds out of it, but not as much as the lower difficulties. That's for sure. They can get way more time saved from this segment.
Oh yeah, on VE you can save up to 25 seconds on it.
So it's all over. There's one more particularly difficult room in this run. That's the last room of guards, where we take Eva through. The problem with the room is essentially you can't even move at the start of it because the Tuxedo's camo index is so low. So you kind of have to do some really awkward, precise aims, which is going to be fun because of my R2 issues. But we'll work it out. I'm sure we'll get through it. So we always feed Eva before we cure her. The amount of stamina that she regains will last her until the end of the escort. That trick was found by Raichu, and it saves a full menu, which is about 7 seconds. So
Don't bully Eva.
she can't. So Eva can't actually take any damage from Snake just in this room. Any other room she will. Normally I CQC slam her to show that, but because I can't CQC, I have to roll into her.
Something else interesting, you actually don't have to have her follow you to that first cutscene. If you just walk all the way to it without her coming behind you, she'll just teleport to you anyway. So,
which is funny because in Metal Gear Solid 2, the first room that you get Emma, you don't have to walk her to the door either. You can just walk through the door and then she teleports through. So it's exactly the same in both games, which is just kind of weird.
At least we're not hand-holding here.
To be honest, in some ways, I'd kind of prefer hand-holding because of the line she's
That's true. Eva takes some very bizarre lines sometimes. As you'll see in the next room, you need to do... There are some spots where Eva will cooperate, and then you can be like a couple steps to the right or left, and she will take a really wide turn, and you're just like...
She just does what she wants. Like
she really does.
She just does what she wants. So you just like I don't even try anymore. I just kind of get on with it. I'm not gonna rely on Eva to take good lines. She just isn't going to.
She absolutely will not. Not only will she not take a good line, she'll swing around corners, wide corners and stuff, but she'll backtrack so she can take that wide line around the corner. She'll literally turn around, walk backwards, and take the bad line.
She's very determined to her route.
See, I knew I couldn't. I don't know why I thought, I can take a step forward. You literally can't move. You literally cannot move. I hate this room so much. Like in Tiger Stripe, you can pretty much get up to the guards in this room, but
yeah, the guards in this room are not very attentive. They all tend to be looking down for. I'm not really sure why, but this is the last room with guards in the game, so. After this, he doesn't really have to worry about getting alerts so much. Or Eva, for that matter. If Eva gets an alert in this room, it also counts as an alert for you.
This trick was found by Major Zero, and I really like it a lot. But essentially, like, they can't see through that tree. They can't see through this gap here. It's like, it's stealth camo.
It's actually the cardboard box.
So yeah, those hitboxes are weird.
Runners of this game tend to prefer the cardboard box over stealth camo. If you offered us one or the other, we would take the cardboard box 100% of the time.
Every time, yeah. There's no doubt in my mind.
Box is very useful. Stealth camo is basically worthless.
We really haven't mentioned the box all that much. He picked it up pretty early in the run, and it's super useful. So obviously you saw in Groznygrad, he used it multiple times to kind of break the guard AI so that he could walk by them without getting an alert. But it also lets you walk up hills with skipping the uphill walking animation. So you just walk at full speed up hills. And that saves quite a lot of time throughout the run because it's pretty big hills, particularly in mountains, especially mountains 2.
Yeah, it saves a lot of time there.
Oh, thank God. Eva jumped down. Okay, so there's a thing that Eva can do where she just, won't do that. And she'll just turn around and walk all the way to the beginning of the room. We don't know why it happens, but she can do it as many times as she wants in a row. It's happened to me twice in a row.
Oh, God.
I lost 2 minutes to it. I was on world record pace.
We made it all the way to the boss. This is the final boss of the game, the boss. I'll call time when I get the final hit on her as well.
This is going to be a slightly standard loop. Obviously, some deviations because of our fancy tuxedo.
Yeah, so the way I do it is I literally almost fight her normally.
Almost. The normal strategy is to actually slam her right there, but because we don't want any wrinkles in our lovely suit, or tuxedo, excuse me, we just punch her in the face and she falls over. We're very delicate.
Thankfully, you can still counter her CQC.
Yes, thank God.
It's pretty bad if you couldn't.
This fight would be really slow if you could not counter her CQC.
Casual strats sitting in the flowers with thermal goggles on and sniping her.
Oh, God.
Love to see it.
I have never seen that animation.
Yeah, I've never seen her
falling down forward.
That's really weird.
I've only seen the backwards one. That seemed like a little slower. So yeah, after she starts shooting like that and you knock her on the ground, if you run back a certain amount of distance and then run towards her, she'll actually reset her, attempt at trying to CQC slam you on the ground. If you go too far, she'll start shooting, and if you stay too close, she will also start shooting.
Time. I can't believe Molotov and Hikari were in the chat for this one, and it was my roughest run yet. I'm really sorry
Very
for some of the
nice.
errors in there. I feel like it was we had some good bits, we had some bad bits. Not my best run. So I'm gonna be working on this some more. I'll be submitting it to ESA this year. I'd like to submit an MGS3 race if anyone wants to race me. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for commentating, Mini and Major.
Yeah, no problem.
Both legends of the game. Both taught me a lot about this game when I first started running it. I did mention multiple times a lot of these strats were found in Hikari's multi-segment run. Some of them came from Sparty, some of them came from Major. The ones that resulted in continues came from me. We're working on it, but really appreciate everyone watching. Thank you for everyone who subbed. It's been an amazing event. We've got some great runs coming up to take us out of day 3. It's been a great celebration, and I'm really proud to be part of this community.